Hello history fans. For those of you who are returning to my channel, welcome back, and for those of you who are new, welcome. Join me today as I do a follow-up on the trip I had recently up to the Thames foreshore underneath Tower Bridge. So if you enjoy what you see today, please feel free to subscribe. That way, if you hit the notification button as well, you will never miss one of my videos again, and you'll be notified every time one of my new adventures comes up. So join me now as we do a little rundown on some of the things that I found on the foreshore underneath Tower Bridge. Right, so we'll start with some of the slightly less interesting things I found, or things I've found before, so have featured in videos. Lovely piece of cut glass here. Very nice pattern on that. Quite possibly from a plate or a dish or something. This stoneware is possibly a piece of a Bellarmine jug. I found those on previous trips up to the Thames, and I've done some history on those in the past. Then this was a piece of green borderware. So that's 16th to 18th century. Nice little find there. I seem to find those a lot on the Thames. I don't think I've been to the Thames without finding some. So quite pleased to find that. This was the mystery metal object. I've tried to clean it as best I can, and I now believe it is a button. You can see where the shank would have been attached there. So nothing on the front of it, unfortunately. And very worn, but still a nice find. That was my only one of my only metal finds of the day. And then we've got a little piece of Victorian wear with some lovely cream lines on, and that's quite possibly from a ginger beer bottle, I think. So that's quite a nice find again. And now we have the slightly more interesting finds. This is the first item of my more interesting ones, and is actually my oldest find to date. And it is a piece of rarine stoneware, and this has quite an interesting history to it. It's actually, I thought it might have been a rim, but it's actually turned out it's a foot of a jug. So at the end of the 15th century, the manner in which food and drink was served at the table underwent great changes. An element of these changes was the adoption of individual drinking pots, replacing the medieval practice of communal drinking and the use of wooden cups. Much of the new demand for drinking pots was supplied by the importation of salt-glazed stoneware from Belgium and the Rhineland. The most important source of such wares throughout England was the potting town of Rarine in eastern Belgium. I apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Typical Rarine vessels often had light grey or bronze-brown surfaces and frilled feet, and date from the 1480s to the 1550s. And actually, very interesting piece here. Rarine jugs were taken from the barber surgeon's cabin aboard Henry VIII's flagship, the Mary Rose, which sunk in 1545. So they got around quite a lot and were actually found on the Mary Rose. So nice little piece of history on that one. The next item is Victorian spongeware, and really the name says it all. A sponge dipped in coloured pigment is daubed onto a piece of earthenware pottery of a contrasting colour, creating an oval mottled sponge pattern. The clear glaze is applied and the piece is fired. Most spongeware, however, was factory made from the mid-1800s well into the 1930s, although this piece does date from the Victorian era. So certainly my most colourful find of the day, and I'm very pleased with that. I do like it. So I like an interesting pattern on that. So that's going in my cabinet, I should think. And finally, my only other metal find of the day was a piece of a pair of scissors. And I've had a little clean of it, and there's no markings on it, so it's hard to date them. But the earliest known scissors appeared in Mesopotamia about 3,000 to 4,000 years ago. And these were of a spring scissor type, comprising two bronze blades connected at the handles by the thin flexible strips of curved bronze, which served to hold the blades in alignment to allow them to be squeezed together and pull them apart when released. And spring scissors continued to be used in Europe right up until the 16th century. However, pivoted scissors of a bronze or iron construction, in which a shape that we would recognise today were invented by the Romans in around 100 AD, and they entered common use in not only Rome but in China and Japan as well, and the design remains to this day. So they've stuck around for a long time. Another one of the things that the Romans invented that we still use today. This is a piece I like very much. I did think it was glass initially, but turns out it's actually mother of pearl. And you can see on the back the shell. It's an abalone shell that it would have come from. And it has the most wonderful iridescent patterning inside. The way it catches the light is absolutely lovely. So I'm really, really pleased with that. I do like the colour in that. I keep that on my desk actually, and look at it when the light catches it at different times of the day. It's lovely. So there we go. That's a little rundown on the items I found on the foreshore underneath the historic Tower Bridge. I hope you've enjoyed this little trip through history and seen some of the interesting items that I did find. So don't forget, if you haven't done so already, to like, subscribe and click the notification button, because then you will never miss one of my exciting adventures and you'll always be kept updated. So thank you very much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.